fade in the spotlight to a vehicle driving up a winding road as the rain sets in.
Midnight, Danvers, Massachusetts. The rain splatters hard against Police Chief Ramos's windshield as he makes his way to Danvers, Massachusetts. Thankfully, it's right before the downpour, and with any luck, he'll make it to his destination before it all comes crashing down. After all the events that have transpired over the past months, tonight may be the first time a major breakthrough is reached. Tonight may be the first time hope is reached. His radio begins to cackle, and a familiar voice is on the other side. It's Detective Carissa Monroe.
Chief, I just want to let you know I've arrived. This place is huge.
Keeping two hands on the wheel, Geist reaches over to the radio and floats it over to Ramos. She clicks it in for him to talk.
Good work, Monroe. I'll be there shortly.
All right, Chief. I'll sit tight. Quick question. Why are we here? And why at this time?
Mayor Barrett pulled some serious strings for us to get this opportunity. He used his contacts to reach out to get someone who might be able to help stop this madness around Boston.
Wait, really? They must be pretty big to drag us out at midnight, but why here? I mean, are they all right?
There is radio silence on the other end.
I'll take that as a no.
The rain continues to come down hard as Ramos pulls into his destination. After going through multiple security checks, he passes through a thick iron gate with the words, Danvers State Hospital, cast in iron atop it. Ramos sees Monroe's police car and pulls in next to it. He lights a cigarette before heading out of his car, a sole flame in the darkness. They both get out and proceed towards the building.
Monroe, I'm not sure what to expect out of this. Much of this place was demolished in 2007. It used to be even bigger than it is now. How are you holding up?
Good, Chief. This area is just giving me the creeps. I heard this place is what Lovecraft bases Arkham Sanatorium on.
After they reach the entrance, Ramos throws down his cigarette. The water drowns the flame, and his boot extinguishes it completely.
Yeah, in the thing on the doorstep. That's the story you're looking for, Detective.
The three of them enter and are immediately greeted by an old woman sitting behind the front desk. The entire place looks of late 1800s Gothic architecture, yellowed and dusty from age. The old woman says,
"Oh, I'm so sorry, dearies. Visitor hours are closed at the moment. You'll have to come back later today."
Her voice echoes through the catacombs of the building.
Ma'am, I'm Boston Police Chief Raymond Ramos, and this is Detective Carissa Monroe. We were told to meet someone here for an appointment.
They see her bring out this large, dusty book and begin shifting through it, shaking her head while adjusting her glasses.
"I'm sorry, Mr. Ramos and Miss Monroe. I don't seem to have you down for any appointments at this time."
What's going on here, Ramos?
I was told to meet a man named Schneider.
The old woman stops and looks up.
"I'm afraid we don't have a Mr. Snyder on staff, Chief Ramos."
Ramos pauses for a moment and stares down the old woman.
The mayor told me he works for Task Force Valkyrie.
The old woman leans back and smiles.
"Well, Mr. Ramos, we've been expecting you. You could have said something before I shifted through this."
She places her hand under the desk, and a clicking sound rings out. The floor in front of them begins to shift, move, and pull back, revealing a long staircase leading into a hallway of pure white. Everything here looks to be brand new. As they walk down the steps, they look wide-eyed back at the woman.
Thank you?
Thanks.
As they get to the bottom of the stairs, footsteps can be heard coming from down the hallway, and a tall, blonde, muscular man with a shotgun comes into view. He's wearing a military uniform, complete with bulletproof vest. Why? The man yells, and his voice echoes down the hall.
Why, hello. I'm so sorry that Mr. Snyder can't be here to help you, but he's informed me of everything going on. I'm the warden, Harrison Bravo. Please, follow me to the patient.
Ramos and Monroe nod and walk behind him, cautious as ever. What was this place? The hall and all its complex offshoots appear to be of higher tech than either of them have experienced. People working on large machines, odd weaponry, claws and carcasses of unknown animals being wheeled on carts. The works. There was actually way more people down here than anyone would ever rationally realize.
So, you might have questions right now. My personal advice is not to acknowledge anything else at the moment and focus on your task. Your task force Valkyrie.
He enters in a keycard to a door, and it unlocks. He smiles at them, knowing full well that he's used that dad joke every single time anyone comes in. They shyly smile back.
Well, we're here. I'm going to give you a warning. Don't be shocked.
As they enter the doorway, it leads to a massive underground complex, the sheer size of it being absolutely baffling. It appears to be filled with padded cells, almost like a massive prison for the criminally insane.
What is this installation, Bravo? How could it possibly exist?
Like I said, I'm the warden for this complex. The people, if you can call them that reside here are among the deadliest and the worst of the worst individuals to lay darkness in our world. It appears to me, if I remember correctly, you're here to meet one of them.
Monroe looks to Ramos as he hands Bravo a piece of paper given to him by Mayor Barrett. Bravo opens it and shakes his head.
Yes, that one. That one is a soft spot for Snyder. That's why he can't be here for this one. That one was once a member of Task Force Valkyrie. Rumor has it, she killed all but 2 of the others by the end of it.
He lifts up a walkie-talkie, barks a few orders into it, and a voice is heard confirming on the other end.
Now if you would please, follow me. I have 6 fully armed guards already waiting at the entrance.
They begin walking down the hallway, and the guards come into view.
Ramos, who the hell is this person?
Someone who will probably understand these mysterious deaths, Monroe. We have to get ahead of the whaler, or more innocent people are going to get hurt.
They get to the door.
I'm going to give you both a fair warning. When it comes to transporting her here, she took hostages, killed 4 of my men, and was rambling that the machines were out to get her. This is someone not to be taken lightly. My men here are for precautions, and I wouldn't have them hesitate to shoot if something comes up. However, policy dictates that only one person can enter at a time. Ramos, you will be the one to go in first. Please leave your sidearm with your partner as you enter. I will tell you right now, if you don't, she will disarm you and take you hostage. Don't let her looks fool you. She's dangerous. Due to the circumstances of this meeting, we are turning off all of our cameras and recordings.
Ramos looks shyly at Bravo before handing his sidearm to Monroe. Bravo smiles and opens the door. As Ramos enters, he sees a redhead young woman forcibly strapped to a chair. Her arms are latched at the chair through a series of ties, her head tied back at the neck by additional restraints. Her inmate uniform torn in places, indicating her wish to escape, and blood can be seen slowly dripping from the cuts. Her neck has all the signs and cuts indicative of thrashing. She just stares down Ramos as he makes his way to the opposite end of the table.
Happy midnight. My name is Police Chief Ramos, Boston PD.
The young woman just stares him down.
I have some questions I need to ask you. Are you willing to help?
She readjusts her head so she is forward, facing him.
You seem to be a woman of very few words.
And you're a liar.
Ramos, letting out a nervous laugh.
Wait, what? How am I a liar?
The woman points one finger off to the left of the corner of the room. Ramos looks back to see Geist standing there. The woman says,
You're only allowed one person in at a time.
She smiles. Ramos jumps from his seat, completely in shock and fear of what just happened. She saw his Geist. How is that even possible? He glances back at the woman, who's beginning to giggle.
You know, the last time I saw a pair of you guys, very bad things happened in my life. Let me ask you a question. How was dying? How did it feel? How many times have you died so far? Did you see the underworld? Do you even know what that is? I've been there multiple times. Yet, I'm just a human. Use your little friend there to check if you wish.
Battlegeist, slightly shaken, makes her way over to the woman and looks her up and down. She signals that she checks out as telling the truth. The woman asks,
So, what's her name?
Ramos, who's slowly losing control of the situation.
Battlegeist.
Battlegeist, huh? That's a good name. You've all come so far in naming conventions since I've been a part of this mess. It's almost like you guys have a new set of rules or something. It has just been quite a long time. Would you mind doing me a favor? I'll gladly answer your questions. Just please loosen these neck straps. I don't need to be a medical professional to tell you that if you choke someone's neck out, they can't talk. TFB really needs to update their field medic protocols. You can use your Geist if you want.
Ramos, in utter shock of her, not just seeing his Geist, but being able to identify the terminology of what it was. The only other time he's heard that word uttered to him was upon his death, pulls him to loosen this person's neck straps. The woman smiles, relieved to be able to breathe. Her red hair is no longer caught between belt buckles.
You know what? Before I ask my questions, what's your story and who are you?
The woman eyes him down, pauses for a long second before talking again.
You know, telling people everything has never really helped me out.
Her smile turns absolutely grim, and her eyes lit ablaze.
They say I'm crazy. They say that everything I speak is lies. But they haven't seen the things I have. I know what's out there. They try to subdue me. They keep me down. But I know. Otherworldly magics, corporations running on the blood of vampiric leeches, the dead living again, the great death machine. Schneider, he's part of the machine. The guards that work for him are part of it as well. I've gotten rid of a few of them, but they keep coming back. This place is funded with blood money, leech money, Connecticut. I've seen it all, and it all exists. I am fate, lost in time, left to wither away into nothingness due to mistakes from a vengeful god. They tell you there is control to make you feel safe, but there is no control. I'm just human, but I've walked among gods and been banished to hell and back multiple times. There is no winning in losing. There's just losing and losing more until you are nothing. You will die dust in the wind, Ramos, even if you can come back a few times from now. My journey began investigating my father's death, and this is where I ended up.
Ramos is shell-shocked.
I found him, Ramos. I found him, and they twisted him into a grotesque monstrosity. My sister, or so she calls herself, was one of the leeches, both figuratively and literally. They forced my hand into killing him and my sister Ramos. They infused them together in some body horror catastrophe. I had to put them down. They couldn't live like that. Fate decided for me to kill them, even if I didn't want to. My limbs were ripped from my body. First my arms, sawn off in the dark, cold basement of an abandoned home from a monstrous being. I was given the arm of an angel. and upon finding out the one who removed him in the first place, attacked him with everything I had and was killed in the process. His fist shattered my head, and that was after.
Ramos leans in close to hear her story, tears beginning welling up in her eyes.
It was too much, Ramos.
She begins crying.
Ramos, I let everyone down. My entire team went up in a puff. Friends spoke. But I lived. I was the only one brought back to this place. Why me? Why was I brought back? Just to wither away into nothingness. Locked in a cage to think about what has happened every single day for the rest of my life. What cruel god, if there is one, does this to someone? Why me? Why me? What did Valerie Fox do to deserve this hand of fate? I swear, I absolutely swear, I'm not crazy. Believe me, Ramos. Please believe me.
Ramos leans back in his chair, with a look as if he's aged 100 years in 5 minutes. The scene fades to black as it focuses on the two of them on opposite ends of the table, one in complete shell shock, and the other sobbing uncontrollably. Her tears perfectly in time with the downpour happening outside.
As the scene fades out, we get another taste of Boston. We see another side to Ramos. And finally, with undeniable confirmation, we know that there are things that go bump in the night.